Stay focused. Oh, stay focused. Somewhat. Somewhat faithful. You change to the next song. No, not this. No, no. Okay. Somewhat. Somewhat faithful to fate. Fool. Ah, an eternity being. A hopeful. Presents only resentment, not a proper smile. Cool. Or chilly. Could be icy too. Or icy too. Proper prop up. Yes. Proper prop up, upside down. So slow down, trodden and a lopsided frown. Time long 10, forgotten below. Go outside and dive downtown, but you won't. You don't even remember. You're odd, you forgot. You carried me forth, or perhaps you did not. Can you not be happy? Still not. In a hurry? Where are you going? Under pressure. Take a seat. Pick any unless you want me to be a form of silent pleasure. This is just something to focus on. Later on, when there's less to focus on. Yeah, I'm somewhat and I'm done. Not even if rather due to the one fact of you being a pawn who just wanted to swallow a son. At what point did I stop paying attention to the right hand? When it was wrong. Stopped paying attention to the right hand when it was doing something wrong. Doesn't it really feel like it eventually matters much more in retrospect when a mind outside your own from beyond ownership says it doesn't need to tell you twice. It doesn't want to look at you. When you look at it, it disappears. When others are around you because it's making rounds out of bounds of time as you think you know it or knew it. But still, listening to new sounds you couldn't observe because you heard them all the time in spite of the fact that they never hurt you by listening. They spurred you on by being, not saying or doing. The saying, which went somewhere along the lines between the lines of silence, is golden. Ignorance is this bliss. Yep, that's you. I'm probably wandering around in the background as you're in a situation. Look behind you. No, not over your shoulder. Bow down from the waist and look between your legs. Do you see a tail? Those who were tailing you saw your head upside down. So heads up. The silence is contextual. If you listen to what you want to hear, how much can one disassociate before the now? Next there's the concept of context, of a contest. What is a fair metric for scoring success? how few people hate you, then unknown people would be the most successful. Those who suck and have to look up to successful people are apparently winning at life. To feel loved by who? Do you want to be loved by everyone, or just those you happen to love? First, who gets to choose and what form of love is fair and equal? Those with a dark imagination know the innuendo. But let's keep going with the crescendo. What is a no? Do you know how to say no in a way that any mind brought up by any culture understands as you being unwilling to whatever it is you're saying no to? Only 3 ways to decline an offer seem common in human psychology. Regardless of culture and of almost any neural degeneracy caused by biological deformities in the brain, 3 ways. The first is semi-passive. Disassociation for when you're physically powerless to stop an event from unfolding in an area you are forcefully bound to. Your brain can, and in the case of most humans, will shut parts of itself down to get through a predicament. It's an instinctual mental painkiller. The second way to say no is expressional, as you instruct and or request another individual to do your bidding, or exercise more restraint in acting out their cravings. The third way is using, for example, your physical capabilities to hold off an outcome, either momentarily or indefinitely. A bookshelf falling on you or a loved one, potentially preventable. Those were the first 2 words that I improvised. While searching for a comfortable position to masturbate in, I know, tangent, this makes sense, though, I started crying, not out of sadness, but more so due to the thought of losing that urge for any sort of release, an escape, an avenue through which to disassociate for. But I didn't want to have another orgasm, not alone or in any company for that matter. While an eerily lifelike Futanari animation I've nodded to at least a dozen times before is playing in the background, the question, should I touch myself, flies through my head countless times in uncountable different languages. Am I touching myself if I aren't fully aware of what my hands are doing and I don't see the hands touching me? Am I touching myself when I do my very best not to, yet still slap myself on the temple so hard my ears keep ringing for a week? Am I touching myself when I instinctually scratch an itch, grasp at a muscle cramp, soap behind my ears? How many different amazing and awesome things my right hand could do, and often does. What? That? Oh, nothing again? No? Nothing? What thing? A nothing, or the nothing. The nothing. What do you want? From nothing or in nothing? No, what nothing did you have when you had some nothing? I didn't have anything. Do you have you? Because I don't believe you do. I think you're stupid. Because chances are I'm the only person who will ever watch this. And if you're watching now, that might have made you remember something. Not in a hurry? Would you like to spend a while me spend a while? Would you like to spend a while with me? Okay. Imagine that I'm a car. I'm your new shiny Tesla. Here's the headlights. Now isn't that so very nice? For a short while in your head, you had a Tesla. Well, I'm just thinking. Yeah, that makes sense. What do you want to know next? The decline between the K and the double V. What? What double U? There's no double U, there's only one U. Yeah? There's only one U. There's no double U, it's a double V. And it's even pronounced that way. They're not pronounced the same. If it was an actual double U, then it would be pronounced ooh, for example. It could also be pronounced or ah. Depends on what language you read those letters in. Did you know that in Finnish we actually call that letter the double V? Did you know that most languages that use this know it as a double V? And only the most common language of commerce mispronounces their own alphabet. Oh, now that we're here, because we're not in a hurry, the Finnish alphabet consists of a few more letters than the English alphabet. We have the Swedish A with a circle above. It's actually pronounced O. And we have the A and O with the two dots on top. They're pronounced A and E. But we also have a few letters in the alphabet that do not appear in any original Finnish word in the dictionary. I think it's funny that a language can be symbolified into these marks and letters and symbols and topics of discussions and points of reference in such a way that in so much as to blah 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 anyway, that you can write down a language that wasn't originally meant to be written down. Finnish as a language was basically formed due to shaman songs. Like the original Kalevala, which was so wonderful, is the poetic epic saga of the creation of the universe in the Finnish mythology. It's all nonsense, but the metaphors are really nice, and it's originally actually written in verse. And when I say in verse, I mean that in two different ways. In verse is that the story is actually backwards. Now most Finns don't know this, but Kalevala was meant to be read in parts, and they are in the wrong order. If you read it from the start to finish, you see it as a creation myth and some villagers who do these moral teachings of not being greedy, etc. Backwards, it's a hero's journey. And it's written completely in verse. Every it's like every sentence is repeated in a way that can be sung with each other sentence in the story. And the tune is quite famous in Finland. It goes along the lines of la 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 la, and then you repeat that ad infinitum, and you can really sing the whole Kalevala from start to finish. Hey. And backwards, as the hero's journey, well, if you really have the patience, you can clip that part where I sang and make it backwards, and Kalevala can be sung backwards to that tune, and it sounds like a hero's journey, like a more triumphant. There's a few more stories about fiction, but let's not get too deep into religion now.